And sometimes I will talk to him, discuss with him the similarities between psychology and Buddhism. I think there are a lot of similarities because in Buddhism we talk about the inner self. In psychology, we also want to explore the inner self before we can help ourselves. So is there difference? Not much difference. Not much difference. They both offer powerful tools. What does these powerful tools do? The powerful tools is for you to understand yourself better. And for you, after understanding yourself better, to transform the mind. To change for the better. To change for the better. So in other words, CBT as well as Buddhism wants every one of us to change for the better. So transforming the mind. Transforming the mind. The second one, we talked about both CBT and Buddhism begin with the recognition that thoughts shape our experience. Do you agree or not? Your thoughts shape your experience. Because in psychology, it also says that CBT helps individuals recognize negative or distortive thoughts and patterns and replace them with moral values. Okay? I say this again. CBT helps individuals recognize negative or distorted thoughts, patterns, and replace them with more balanced ones. In other words, we are extracting the negative thoughts, we are extracting the distorted thoughts from this person, and then replace something that is more balanced. That is CBT. Similarly, Buddhism teaches that thoughts are impermanent and should not be clung to. We should not cling on to impermanence. So it's then similar, right? This one on CBT side, we say remove the no good ones, the negative ones. In Buddhism, we also say remove the negative ones. Don't cling on to impermanence. You must remove them. So how do you do that? You do that with being mindful. Mindfulness is a core of Buddhist practice. It aligns closely with the CBT technique of staying grounded in the present moment. So when you go and see a psychologist, it says, look, live in the present moment. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. Stay grounded in the present moment. That's the same for Buddhism. Practice aligns closely with the CBT, mindfulness. So methods and practices, how do you do it? How do you practice? The table shows you how practical techniques in CBT mirror Buddhist practice. For example, CBT uses thought restructuring. Okay, when you go and see a psychologist, they will do thought restructuring. Shift cognitive distortions. Buddhism uses vipassana or insight meditation to observe thoughts non-judgmentally. Okay? Don't judge them. Non-judgmentally. So both sides are basically the same. Behavior activation in CBT encourages engagement with meaningful activities. Right? In order to change your mind, you must have meaningful activities. That's what CBT teaches. Buddhism, at the same time, what does it promote? It promotes right action and ethical living as part of the Eightfold Path. Even exposure therapy in CBT, where a person, what is exposure therapy? Where a person faces fears, resonates with the Buddhist ideas of sitting with suffering mindfully rather than avoiding it. So we must face suffering. We must know that there is suffering. So we must sit there to face suffering. So finally, while the goals differ, somehow when you go to a psychologist and when you come to a Buddhist counselor, the goals differ. CBT aims to reduce psychological distress and improve daily life functioning. Buddhism aims at ending suffering completely. So which is better? One is for the temporary, to change your thoughts, change your mind. One is how to do it permanently, to end suffering completely. So these are two different goals. So if you look at CBT and Buddhism in this sense, there are differences at the end of the day. At the end of the day, there are differences. They both empower the individual to transform suffering through awareness, practice, and intentional change. There's no difference. Okay, there's no difference. How to transform suffering, how to be aware, how to practice, how to have intentional change. But it's just that Buddhism goes deeper. Goes deeper to say that you must change completely. Right? The second one, let's look at acceptance and commitment therapy of psychology, where it emphasizes